Welcome everyone to another edition of Jai After Dark. I am Sameem. I'm here with my co-host
Shabnam.
Shabnam, that's right. And today we're talking about $1 Million Secret on Netflix. It is a test of wits and betrayal. The winner gets $1 million. The first 3 episodes are already on Netflix. We are going to discuss those today. And subsequently speaking, there's going to be 2 more releases. And Shabnam, I'm pretty excited to discuss those as well.
Same, yeah. This is an interesting game of, like you said, manipulation, betrayal. So the way the game works is that all the players show up to this mansion, which they're calling the Stag. Okay, this is like really similar to Traitors, but we have some different names and a little different twists. So they show up to the mansion called the Stag, and they all pick room keys with different animals on them that assign their rooms. And in the rooms, there's boxes, and whoever opens their box and has $1 million in it, that's the millionaire. And everyone basically has to figure out who that is. If they figure that person out, that person gets kicked off. And then we don't know what happens because they've never figured out who the millionaire is yet in these 3 episodes. But that's the goal, basically.
Yeah.
And if you're voted out, even if you don't have $1 million in your box, you're gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some luck involved in this game.
Yeah.
Whoever ends up with $1 million, but would you want the $1 million? I don't think I would want it right away. And I think Lauren goes through that, obviously, because she becomes villain number 1. Like,
for sure.
Shit, they go after her. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't want it right away either.
Yeah.
I think it's better to get to know people. The only thing I was thinking, though, is if you had it right away, no one would know how you were before you had it and get to compare that to your new behavior, you know? Yeah. So later in the episodes, Lauren actually, as part of one of her challenges, gets to move the money if she makes a challenge, and she does. And so when they moved the money, people got to see like, hey, who's acting a little different? And so that's the only reason why it might be good to have it from the beginning. It
didn't work out for her, though. Yeah. She had a big mouth and told everyone she was the millionaire. So I'm assuming the producers told her to do that. I don't know why you would do that, but hold on. Wait. If this is a game of manipulation and stuff, have you ever lied to me? Sorry, I'm just thinking about, have you ever lied to me?
I have lied to you, and I'm going to come clean. I'm going to come clean. So remember when I went to this escape room with you and Sophie and your ex-wife? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So we went to the escape room, and I told you that like I was fine taking turns, and I wasn't because I'm really competitive.
I don't remember taking turns. Hold on. I know we finished, but they gave us extra minutes, so we didn't finish within time. I do remember that.
Yeah, they gave us like 5 extra minutes. Yeah.
Also, Sophie was like 12, 13 at that time. So,
and I think she helped figure out the last thing.
Oh, I was chilling, dude. I don't think I was super involved. I was just there to get her out of the house. But I lied to you once too.
What'd you say?
I didn't say what I said. I did what I did.
What'd you do?
So remember when we played Mafia, which is another social deduction game at your house years ago? I got like roofied by someone, and they gave me an edible, and I showed up at your house hanging out with your mom and your sister was watching us play Mafia. She didn't join, by the way.
Yeah.
And there was like 15 of us, and I had to drink like 4 cups of chai, super caffeinated, to get back to level-headedness.
I know.
I think you might have known.
I knew there was something up because you were lying down on the floor, like on your back. Oh my God.
So I didn't lie. I did lie, actually. I lied down.
And I think that's one of the times when one of my nephews was really young, and he goes up to you. He pretends like he's a dinosaur, and he goes up to you. He's like, "Do you mind if I bite your neck?"
Oh yeah,
and you're
yeah.
Okay. And
then he kept coming in. He kept biting my neck, and then a couple times he did it for real. And he was super young, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude, you're biting me for real!" But I didn't care. I was in a really like okay mood, I guess, very chill mood. Hanging out your house in Fremont, California, which seems kind of a theme. But yeah, I didn't lie to you, but I didn't know what to say. It took a little bit for it to kick in, so I ended up at your house safely, but then I was gone.
Yeah.
And we were playing Mafia.
Yeah, I know.
So
I remember.
Imagine Lauren shows up high as hell at the Stag, 115 miles east of Vancouver in this French chateau, high as shit. She probably would have done a better job.
You know, maybe Sam was high as shit, and that's why she like had to go take a quote unquote nap in the middle of breakfast the first day.
Sam is the cop.
Yeah.
So we are going to have tea time at the end of this episode, and Shabnam and I have some tea to spill on Sam the cop, who is very willing to tell us the tea. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, we have all that for you as well.
Well, she doesn't tell people she's a cop.
She doesn't tell people. Yeah,
so,
I was just going to say, yeah. So I don't think people know she's a cop in the first episode, at least.
Yeah. So she basically tells them, what'd she say her job was? It was like...
fashion model? I don't know.
No, I think she said like dental assistant or something, if I remember correctly. So she lies about her job. And then Sydney, who's a very tall blonde woman, she lies. She says she does bottle service in Scottsdale, but can't name a bar in Scottsdale. And what were she, like from Alaska or something?
She's from Alaska, but she does live in Arizona because I found her on Instagram as well. So before we get into like the actual show and the manipulation of the lying, I did go down, not a rabbit hole, because Instagram's not a rabbit hole. And I found these people straight up connected to the Secret Millionaire Netflix account. And all of them are like me and you. Small creators trying to become big time. Sydney had a bunch of pictures, like professional model shoots. She has about 9,000 Instagram followers. She's been doing it for a long time. She has so many pictures uploaded. So sometimes the algorithm doesn't find you, right? And her pictures don't look anything different than somebody with like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million followers, right? It's just, do you think there's a difference between somebody with 5 million followers on Instagram versus 9,000 followers with the same kind of pictures? Like the influence is the influence. So
it is
just
sort
exposure. Of it's exposure.
So basically what you're saying is we should go on the next season of, what is it? $1 Million Secret.
Let me finish Muslim Matchmaker season 2 first, which is not announced. I'm joking, everyone, by the way. And then I would love to go on a show like this. Are you kidding? Like Traitors? Hello.
Yeah. You That'd go on Muslim Matchmaker season 2 and I'll go on $1 Million Secret season 2.
No, dude. We should go on The Amazing Race together. That's what we should do.
Really?
Is that a real thing still? Because Mike White did that. Mike White from White Lotus. He was on Survivor and he also went on Amazing Race with one of his like writing partners, or I don't know who, but
maybe we can write a White Lotus type series after that.
We have a lot of confidence today. It's Friday. Actually, it's Saturday morning. So
Saturday morning when everyone's listening to this, Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I mean, is this show around because Traitors is chilling right now?
I think Netflix is trying to get into the games because they had Squid Games, the Squid Game show.
The Mole.
Yeah, the Mole. Yeah. And Traitors is so good. And I think they're just trying to, see what else they can make of this
Temptation
whole game.
Island? No,
Temptation Island. Yeah.
That's not social deduction. That's let's look at some ass.
That's
deduce
that's like
else.
That's hot people shenanigans. So
So I feel like I would end up like Phil if I was on this show. I just pick someone that's like the weakest person, like C Young, and just start yelling at her. I didn't like that at all, by the way. I'm joking. I wouldn't do that. But this show caused so many different reactions, and it was just sort of hilarious because I think me and you could be chill if we were on this show, but now I'm like, maybe we wouldn't be. Maybe I would go nuts.
You know what's surprising to me is like sort of how conflicted the people felt when they got there. It's like you signed up for a show
to lie.
And it's a game. It's a game. It's not like you're lying to someone without them expecting it. Literally everyone signed up to be on the show that's about deception. So this is a game. I don't know what's the big conflict. So that was kind of annoying, that like everyone was like, the Lauren's like so conflicted and she's crying over it. It's like maybe she thought she could make more influencer friends if she didn't lie to them, and she was conflicted about that. But I'm just like, girl, it's a show. You're on it. Play,
Well, she says after she admits that she was a millionaire, she said, I'm not going to tell you what they told me because I need to keep that as an advantage. What did they want her to do? Just walk away from the show?
Yeah.
I didn't. That part, you're totally correct. And I think there might be some producer shenanigans here. Because why would you be yelling at someone that's literally playing the game by the rules? And it's like a fake game made in front of TV cameras. So I like the show. I actually enjoyed it a lot. The only thing that was weirded out is like, how do you just yell at someone randomly for playing the game that you're playing?
Well, okay. Are you talking about Phil? You're talking about Phil and Say Young, right?
No, I'm talking about Phil against C Young. I'm talking about Sydney gets super upset with Lauren. And then I'm talking about Jamie.
Okay.
Jamie gets so mad at Lauren to the point where she's like, get this bitch off the show.
Yeah.
there was so much anger from Jamie in episode 2 and 3 once she found out Lauren was the millionaire. I just didn't get it. I was like, Lauren, you better lock your door. It got that aggressive, I thought.
It did. But I also kind of agreed with Jamie. Lauren is being really annoying. Okay, one thing I think that's the kiss of death on a lot of these game shows is somebody trying to do too much. Lauren started trying to do too much. As soon as she got rid of the box, she's like, hey, I'm so glad I'm not the millionaire anymore. And it's like she expects people to be like, oh my God, yay. And it's like, what are you talking about? Basically,
but she had some tough challenges. And then top of that, her challenges aren't anonymous. When they give the clue to Chris, like when they give the clue in the trophy room, they're basically telling you what happened. And even one person said the music challenge smash hit, like they didn't get it because everyone starts yelling over each other. But if
Sae-Young starts crying, that was basically the problem.
If she didn't start crying, they would have figured it out.
Yeah.
Also, how do you say like rose and a thorn? That last thing was just like,
that was really hard.
It was pretty impressive. Yeah. I give it up to Lauren.
For sure. She's super impressive. She played the game well. And then this whole revealing to people that you're a millionaire, I was actually trying to figure out, I was trying to think in my mind, was it really stupid or really smart? And I feel like it could have gone either way depending on what she did after that. But she then started doing too much even after that. She was trying to take control, of the conversations, how the game gets played and all this stuff. Like, I know what the millionaire's like, so I can tell that Sydney's the millionaire because she's been like changing her attitude. Like, she was just doing too much. It's like, stop while you're ahead and let people settle in. And I feel like that's why Jamie kind of snapped at her. She would have annoyed me too. I'm team Jamie on that one.
Wow. Okay, I don't agree with you at all. This is nice though.
Yeah.
We don't need to agree about everything.
Yeah, we don't.
I think it was Lauren didn't say anything wrong. Of course, we don't see everything. We only see like 1% of what they actually film, but I just don't know what else she was supposed to do. Because Sydney already didn't like her, and vice versa. Lauren didn't like Sydney either. I totally get that. But I don't know. Also, we can talk about the first blow up, which was Phil.
Yeah, that was good.
It wasn't Jamie on Lauren. It was Phil having a fucking meltdown. And he's a college professor, by the way, for 15 years. You might want to chill out a little bit, homie.
But again, okay, I'm going to take Phil's side again. I'm going to disagree with you again, okay? Because I get it. Sae-Young, first of all, she does have a good memory. And then she says she can't remember where she's sitting, right? Okay, so that's suspicious.
But she moved around. She did move 2 spots. I saw on the first episode, and everyone did. Because you get up and get food, you come back and sit down.
Yeah.
But keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fine. So she could say that. She could defend herself. I don't know why she started getting so uncontrollably crying, because that literally makes it seem like you must be the millionaire. That's why you're getting so stressed out by this questioning, And so, and then you can't even like have a conversation. Like Phil, what is Phil supposed to do? Like if he says, this is kind of suspicious, and he's expecting a back and forth conversation, but then she literally has a meltdown. What is Phil supposed to do?
Yeah, but this is going to be tough for me. I have had people in my life that will start crying. And I don't have anything else to say. Do you see what I'm saying?
No.
She came in pretty hot. And I think that was enough for her to cry. And that's fine. I respect that. And then after she got voted out because everyone believed Phil's overt anger.
Yeah.
She literally says, I'm sorry. This is just how I am. I'm emotional and I talk a lot, or whatever it was. Like she said 2 things about herself.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is just how I am. I would have cried about anything.
Well, and I totally get that. But then the thing is, like, now you're in a room full of people that have known you for like 1 or 2 days. They're going to judge these things, right? So maybe you're this type of person, but they don't know that. And logically, who would be the most stressed out if they're posed with a question about why they're being inconsistent? It would be a millionaire. Like it would be a millionaire.
Right? I think you're right. Yeah. I think the reason Phil yelled at her is completely correct.
Yeah.
Also, he didn't have to yell at her, but you know what I mean. Like, yeah. His suspicion was confirmed by...
I don't think he yelled at her. I think he was just pointed. He was like, why do you have to do that?
I mean, he got up and walked away and stuff. He's like,
but that's because she started...
cool down. Yeah.
Well, I kind of feel like he's
also, you can't talk to anyone when they're crying, right?
Exactly. So, because anything at that point that he says to her, he's going to look like an asshole. So
and it's going to make it worse.
Yeah. But actually, he was just trying to have a conversation. She has a meltdown. And then he literally can't say anything because then he's an asshole. So he has to get up and walk away. I think he did the exact right thing.
He started it.
But he should start it. He's supposed to figure out who the millionaire is.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, so this is the thing that I'm having cognitive dissonance on. It literally says betrayal in the first byline of the description of Netflix.
Yeah.
You can't get mad if someone's playing the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hate the game, not the player. Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm serious. Hate the game then.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if I was a millionaire, why the fuck would I just go tell everyone I'm the millionaire and vote me off? It seems like that's what they wanted her to do.
Yeah.
They wanted her to be a sacrificial lamb and basically tell them to vote her off, which ended up happening anyways, which I thought was hilarious. They voted her off just because they were mad at her.
But she again got really stressed out during the elimination dinner. But it was hilarious when she was like, "Well, now I get to go home and watch Bridgerton." I was like, okay.
Hey, Lauren's pretty. I don't know. I feel like she could be a lot of fun. I'm sorry. I don't know what I mean by that. She was kind of bubbly and shit. I ain't hanging out with Sam the cop.
Yeah.
Like, she scared me, right? So I'm not gonna hang out with her.
She was manipulative with her whole infertility story, and I know we're gonna talk about it during tea time, but man, like,
well, that was in the first or second episode. So yeah, what did she say?
In her confessional, she says she's a cop, and she says she's not telling people she's a cop because she wants to use her skills from her job to suss out who the millionaire is and figure out who's lying and who's not. And then she says she's going to cry in front of people to connect with them so that she can build a bond. So she's like, basically, I'm going to be manipulative to build these bonds. It's like, okay, fine. That's part of the game. But then she uses her whole infertility story. And I don't know if it's all true or not true. Maybe we'll learn in tea time. I don't know. But she basically talks about 6 miscarriages that she had and infertility. And she has 1 child currently. And she goes through all that. But it's just a really strange thing, I think, for a lot of people who've gone through similar experiences to then hear like somebody be like, hey, I'm going to start crying and talk about this real difficulty that a lot of people have and this really vulnerable thing as a way to manipulate people intentionally on the show. Like, that was really disgusting. She could have cried about something else. So
what makes Lauren worse then? So I have to come back to Lauren, because it seems like what Sam did would be considered worse, but Phil and everybody would have been cooler with that. It's just
what do you mean?
They're mad because Lauren was the actual millionaire and Lauren was trying to manipulate as well, right? It's just a different kind of manipulation.
Sure, but I don't think, but I feel like Lauren did it in more of a fair way. She's just generally being manipulative. She's not like, let me start purposely crying and weaponizing. Sam was crying in front of everyone to build those bonds, and she did that manipulation, but then the other players don't know yet that she lied about that, right? So I feel like most women would be really pissed.
The tea. We don't actually know if she lied or not, but we do have some statements from her, and we'll get to it at the end of the episode.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to Lauren, I think it was a risk for her to tell people she was the millionaire when the money got moved. Because
it seemed a little producey. That's the only thing. I think there was some production stuff here that they wanted to grab some drama. What do you think? Do you think they told her to do that? It just seemed, because then that guy Peter, the host, walks in almost right away.
Yeah.
And she's like, she literally tells him, yeah, I told them just like you. Like it seemed very set up. It was
maybe
set up, obviously,
because yeah, maybe because one of the things that bugged me about this is when the winners of the challenge go to the trophy room and then they get to pick one of the people to receive the clue about who the millionaire is, that person that they choose always seems to come back and tell the truth so far. And nobody wants to like lie and think that like that's better for their game. Like the first challenge, they got to list off people they think might be the millionaire. It was a total of 6 people. And Lydia got to hear whether or not the real millionaire was amongst those 6 people or not. And she goes back and she tells the truth. I don't know why she didn't think, hey, if I lie, then I can have this information and keep it, and I can then discern.
Because then she might be voted off, right? So then Lauren got voted off. I think people know that. Like, they're not voting off only millionaires. They're voting off people that they think might be lying or have an advantage.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Lydia thought all that, but then you're totally correct. Because then Chris was the second guy, and he's like the Harvard CEO business guy. He has a beverage company or something. And he was basically like, smash hit, right? That was the clue. he almost figured it out, but like you said, Si Young started crying, so it derailed everything.
Yeah.
And then the third guy was Corey, and Corey went and told the truth as well, but it's because multiple people didn't get chased by the dog, right?
Yeah.
So then he's like, I didn't get chased by the hound, but neither did Sydney, neither did Kara.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. They went and all told the truth, but Lauren didn't. She gone.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you don't want a big mouth.
Yeah, because one of the things Corey said early on was, all we have here is our integrity. If you feel like someone doesn't have their integrity, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
You know? So
I think... It's kind of weird, though. It's like, I'm going to keep saying it. It's a game based on deception and lying. Like, we played Mafia.
Yeah.
What truth are you telling in Mafia?
No, but I think that's the point, right? Is if you start to feel like someone's lying, then maybe they are the millionaire, right? I also want to talk about Harry.
Oh, I forgot about that guy because he's gone so quick. Yeah.
Yeah. He was just funny. He's just being like a random old man. Because the great part about this game is that every day before a challenge, the millionaire has to complete this like agenda, right? And so it'll be like different things. So Lauren, her first agenda was that she had to hug everyone. And then her second agenda, like we talked about, was like, in the casual course of conversation, saying 5 song names, right?
Yeah.
Which I have them here.
Cry Me a River.
Yeah. Don't Stop Believing. Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal.
Yeah. And then Every Rose Has Its Thorn. And
I don't know that song.
Yeah. And then You Need to Calm Down. I don't know that song either.
Those two, I was like, holy shit. She did a great job, by the way. That's what I'm saying about Lauren, I think, is like, they don't realize, you're totally correct, that she had to hug everyone. Mm-hmm. Then she had to go and like throw these songs only at breakfast. She didn't have a 24-hour time frame to do it. So it's pretty difficult, and there wasn't really any way to do it without being manipulative. You can't like go and be your natural self with people when you have a very ulterior motive.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody has ulterior motives, but Lauren was the only one selected initially as millionaire. So I thought she did a great job. I'm actually Team Lauren. I'm sorry. And I just don't, the anger was too much, particularly from Jamie. She was basically like, "Oh, fuck yourself." Like she wasn't just mad. It was too much anger is what I'm trying to say.
So the only reason I disagree is because I feel like Lauren already knew, or at least she should have known, by breaking the news that she was the millionaire. People would be annoyed because they would be like, "Oh, you've been lying to us. The relationship we've created with you has been kind of fake."
Yeah, of course.
So
I get that. Yeah.
So then what was so weird is the way that she acted was like, they should be so happy that she's telling them. Right. And it was just strange. So that was odd and annoying. And then she tries to like leverage this like, "Oh, I'm millionaire, so I should be the one chosen in the trophy room to receive the clue because everybody knows that I'm not the millionaire anymore."
I think that's when people started getting pissed off. I think you're right. Because then they got even progressively more upset. And I agree with you then. She got a little bit too...
doing too much, and she's trying to leverage it too much, you know, and take control of the game.
She should have just chilled and been like, "I already told you I'm the millionaire. Don't vote me off next time."
Yeah. Yeah.
But they ended up voting her off. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think that was her downfall, is that she take control too much. Right.
How did they get Harry kicked off then? I don't actually remember what the reasoning was.
Because these agendas, right? So they expect that the millionaire is going to do these agendas. So they're watching out for odd behavior, which is really like an interesting and cool part of this game. And it also is hard when it's all people you don't know. Right. But, Harry he said in Hawaii, it's a tradition to hold hands and pray before a meal. I was like, okay.
That's right. So he don't do anything unless you have to, seems like the theme of this game.
Don't do anything weird, right? But I feel like he was just being an old man. I feel like that's such an old man thing. Hey, you know, in my life, I do this. Why don't we all do this together? You don't even know these people.
That's kind of how I am now. I know I'm not older than Harry, but it is pretty like hard to change. And I'm not like...
Yeah, but you can't make other people do what you normally do.
No. Yeah.
Especially strangers that you just met. I feel like he thought it was going to be friendly, and it's like, no, it's just weird.
Yeah.
You know?
So Harry has the smallest Instagram following. He only has 413 followers. It does say Netflix $1 Million Secret in his bio. He's a photographer and goat wrangler. And he's a photographer for certain billionaires. That's what it says in his bio.
Wow, okay.
Former personal photographer for multiple billionaires.
Do you think it's
And then
Elon?
he has a website with his photography stuff on it. Yeah, so it's just that's all he does. I don't want to say that's all he does. He does kind of a lot actually, but
yeah.
So he gone though, right? So he's the first one that was voted off. R.I.P. Harry.
I feel like the photographer for billionaires paid for the goat wrangling as a hobby. That's
man, I would love to wrangle some goats. Are you kidding me? Not to like completely derail this conversation, but Happy Hollow Zoo in San Jose, California, which is a stalwart of our program. We bring up San Jose every chance we get. Happy Hollow Zoo in between downtown and East San Jose. It's $120 a year for membership. You can go there anytime you want. All day, every day. I took my daughter there almost every week for 7 years running. That's literally where she grew up. She used to ride these goats. They had little goats running around, and you could buy feed and put them into their mouth.
Oh, that's
Not put
cute.
them into their mouth. Sorry, they
put the feed into their mouth.
They would eat the feed from your hand.
Yeah.
And then, if I was going to do something in my life, I kind of feel like being a goat herder or sheep herder would be really good for me because I think it would calm me down. That's all I was gonna say.
You do like to like run around and walk around, so you could just.
I did a lot today already, man. Yeah. This is like the 8th thing I'm doing today, and my former boss, who I met for lunch before this, was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I gotta go record Secret Millionaire." She's like, "Damn, you're crazy." But anyways, all of these people are pretty multifaceted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I was gonna say, I was like, do you think that Harry has taken pictures for Elon? Family
Elon
portrait
Musk.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Looks like a fridge, dude. I don't know.
Can you imagine?
You could take a good picture of that.
Yeah, but imagine like a family portrait. So it'd be like him, his baby mamas,
Come
all the
on.
children.
I know what you're about to say. Okay. I've been holding on to this joke for a long time, and I'm so glad you brought up billionaires because we've done an episode on billionaires, and I held back. I know we said some stuff, and the only reason we're bringing this up is because Harry did billionaire portraits.
Yeah.
Do you think Elon Musk is the world's most prolific father and also a virgin? I think he might be the most virginal man on earth to have that many kids. He actually might be a virgin. Because I heard that a lot of it is like test tube stuff that he's doing. And I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what fertility treatments are required. And I'm not downplaying anyone's pain either, because what Sam goes through, I understand that's not great. But Elon Musk seems to be doing it in a different way. I think he's a virgin and he has 13, 14 kids. That's amazing. Like, that's it. You don't have to respond to that. I just wanted to put that out there. Everyone think about it. And email us, jafterdark.com. So this is a very specific instance. I'm not saying
Jafterdark at Jafterdark. Can you let us know if you think Elon's a virgin?
Hey, come on, guys. We're watching Secret Millionaire on Netflix. Let us, like, deviate a little bit, right?
Yeah.
This show is cool, but, hey, attention span-wise, it's kind of hard to focus. Also, the chateau is really nice. Sorry, not to jump subject to subject. That's beautiful. The stag.
It is. It's so beautiful, the stag. Yeah.
Let's give some tea on that right now. 16 rooms.
Okay.
You can only rent that place if you're fully booking it. So you can't go there if somebody else is staying there. So you have to have a full party. Okay. And it's on this lake called Lake Titicaca. No,
I was gonna say.
It's not Lake Titicaca. It's not Lake Titicaca. Nobody get mad at me.
Because it would be like Stag next to Lake Titicaca, which is kind of it's thematic.
You know what? I can't pronounce this name in front of me right now. It's outside Vancouver.
What's it?
In Canada.
Send it to me. I want to try to pronounce it for you.
Okay, so I can't pronounce this. Let me spell it for you. So it's called Chateau Okanagan. Okanagan. That's the name of the chateau.
Okanagan.
Yeah, Chateau Okanagan, I guess.
Okanagan.
It sits on 44 kept acres in Kelowna, Canada. Kelowna. It's not that bad.
Kelowna, yeah. Mm-hmm. Doesn't that mean toy in Urdu?
Oh, maybe, yeah. Anyways, this is French-inspired elegance, okay? In Urdu, I don't know if it has all that.
That's funny. Okay.
So maybe we should go there. 16 rooms. Do we know 16 people?
We can find 16 people.
What if we redid the Mafia game that we talked about at the beginning of the episode? And we brought everyone, we brought some, and edibles are quite common in BC, Canada.
Yeah.
So we can recreate everything.
That would be amazing. I would totally do it. I think we can definitely find 16 people that are down to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know any other social deduction games beyond Mafia and this game?
No.
So here's some more games.
Okay.
And some of these I didn't think would be games that are like in this realm. So some of these are web games and some of these are board games because Mafia, of course, you can play in person. But there's a game called Secret Hitler.
What?
Which is a hidden identity social deduction party game developed by Goat, Wolf, and Cabbage, LLC. And the group is split into liberals and fascists. And at the start, the social deduction is the group closes their eyes and the fascists like get together and then you have to deduce who they are. So
I
that's
feel
one
like
game.
I feel like we're playing that in this country.
Hey, man, we're not commenting on anything political. We're commenting on how people have to live. And you're totally correct. Yeah. So there's two sides to every coin and there should only be four. So I don't know if that's not a real statement. But another game that I actually really wanted to bring up is called Among Us.
Oh, I love Among Us.
Yeah. I knew you would know that one. So that one became so famous. It came out in 2018 and became so famous during COVID. I think your nephews probably played it.
Yeah.
So that one is literally like, there's a traitor among us and we got to find out who it is. So that game's great. So there's a lot of this. I wonder what it is about human nature. Why are we so like deducey?
We always want to find the bad people and we always think we know who they are. And then a lot of times we're wrong. Like, look at all these games.
Sometimes we're the bad person.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, I have to tell you a funny story about Among Us. Yeah. Yes, I did play it with my nephews, but I also played it for at a tech company for a team building thing.
You want me to start railing on oligarchs again? No, I'm just kidding.
It was like during COVID remote activity. We had it wasn't not fun. It was fun. It's just like it's just interesting.
A, I know what tech company you're talking about.
Yeah.
Obviously. B, we did that too.
Really?
I just got back into my head. Yeah. Well, I literally worked in mobile gaming, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah. In 2020, we played Among Us.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Like on our phones. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think people are genuinely curious about other people's motivations and why they do things. So I think it does play a natural part in these games becoming popular, which kind of says a lot about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
That we get attached to things where we have to figure out if someone's lying or if they've like harmed us in any way or if they've talked bad about us in the past. The manipulation isn't the worst thing about it. It's more so sometimes I feel like people take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
And they don't give other people like a benefit of the doubt that, hey, maybe they're not being manipulative, right? Maybe they're just like being human beings. So I'm going off a little bit. It's only because I find it interesting, human psychology and why we're so obsessed with this sort of thing.
And
like we're 40 minutes in almost, right? And it flew by because we're just talking about these people being weirdos.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly it. When you're playing a game like that, or even in real life, I mean, maybe this is all like a metaphor for a justice system, kind of, right? Like whether or not someone's guilty or innocent. But people are always looking for who's weird. And maybe they're the criminal or the traitor or the
It sort of makes you feel better, potentially.
Maybe, but I think my definition of what weird is might not be yours, right? Like Phil, like Harry was just being Harry. I think he was trying to be friendly and it just was weird because they didn't like it, right? And so, and then the reason why they end up voting him off is because of that, and because later he's like, "Hey guys, before the challenge, let's all put our hands in the middle and say 1, 2, 3, yay," or whatever.
And they're like, "Why is he doing this? This is strange." Yeah,
like,
I get it.
Yeah, they're like, "Why does he keep wanting to touch hands?" And it's like, well, he's just an old man that wants to.
Why did I ask the lady if she was 70 years old next to me, and then my old boss was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You can't talk to people like that." And I was sorry.
Yeah, why'd you tell that one girl that one time who was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you're like, "Don't worry about it," and you walked away. Why'd you do that?
I don't know why I did that. I do have genuine curiosity about people. I don't think I have genuine curiosity about like surface level stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that if you're dialed in, you're really dialed in. If you're not, you're really not.
Oh, I'm out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I can do anything I want to do, but yeah, it takes me like, I need some level of interest from my side. It's really hard for me to fake anything, anything, maybe one thing.
I'm afraid to ask what that is.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Dude, I literally had like a good thought and that made me totally forget it.
Hey, so you're genuinely curious why I said that.
What were we talking about before that?
user psychology, human psychology, why people are interested in other people, why I'm so weird, and why I can't feign fakeness in certain situations. Like, hey, we're just here to have some fun, right? Hey, like we say, this is a comedic podcast. Chai After Dark at chaiafterdark.com. You can ask us anything, but don't ask us if we're secret millionaires, because we are going to lie and we're going to be deceitful. So that kind of stuff ain't going to fly. We're brown. We don't talk about our money.
Really? All they do is talk about money, but not the truth of how much they have. Yeah.
Not the truth. It's always a lie.
It's always
a lie.
I think we've been playing Secret Millionaire our entire life. $1 Million Secret. Our whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we've brought this up on the podcast before, right? And like, we know people that have not $1 million, right? We know people that have a lot of money, not 400 billion type money. Maybe we do, who knows? But
I don't think I know anybody 400 billion.
No, I mean, there's one person on Earth that has that.
I think I know somebody that's a billionaire.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like
I know, I know who you're talking about, but let's leave it at that, right?
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, we know people with 100 million. That's easy.
Yeah.
Like, we could probably count off 7, 8, 9, 10 people, and not even incling work, right? If I include work into it, then it becomes
a lot
bigger,
of people.
Right? So,
if we include work into it, then I know somebody that has 400 billion. So
let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in the know. Secret Millionaire, put us on. We grew up playing this game, Shabnam. You're totally correct.
Yeah.
We would fucking kill it. Actually, I would lose this game in the first 10 minutes. You know I would.
Yeah, because you can't fake it. I feel like I'd be good at this game.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
No one's ever called me a liar, right? So like,
you gotta go on Muslim Matchmaker season 2, and I gotta go on this at the same time, and then we report back.
I think we should go on Traitors. That's where I'd want to go.
Yeah, but Traitors, you have to already be famous, and we're not.
Yeah. There is a UK Traitors without celebrities, though, and that one was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Or we could go on this and then become famous and then go to Traitors.
Become famous like Sydney at the bottle service?
Yeah, Sydney bottle service, yeah.
Let's talk about Sydney and Lauren for a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Along with Phil, because they're all involved. So C. Young gets voted out, which we talked about because she cried too much.
Yeah, so
she didn't know where she was sitting.
So first Harry gets voted out because he likes to touch people's hands, right?
And take pictures of billionaires.
Yeah, and take pictures of billionaires and herd goats. And then C. Young gets voted out because she cries and she doesn't know where she sits for breakfast.
Yes.
Okay.
That is what happens, and Phil gets mad.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And then Lauren gets kicked out ultimately because she's annoying and she tries to take too much control of the game. I think that's why she gets kicked out.
And her and Sydney are kind of beefing. And then Lauren goes heavy into Sydney and she's like, she's the millionaire because she didn't respond in the first 10 minutes. And I'm like, you don't know how to play this game and you were the millionaire. To me, it was obvious that Sydney was not the millionaire. It was pretty obvious that Phil was a millionaire and 2 or 3 people figured it out.
Yeah, Kara.
Kara's, by the way, Kara, if she's not an In-N-Out employee, I don't know what she is because her profile says In-N-Out employee. So I'm about to hit up every In-N-Out in California looking for Kara.
Nice. I know. I'm like, dude, she is really good at reading people. Maybe serving all those people burgers is really got her attuned to who's lying and who's not. She knows how to tell whose order it is and who's trying to get free fries,
Give me some free fries, Kara. Animal style.
Oh, man.
Protein style.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of bad, actually. I didn't come up with that. In-N-Out came up with that.
Yeah.
Do you think Phil got a little bit too horny for Sydney to vote for her because of his feelings?
So you mean he voted for Lauren to be eliminated because of that?
What do you think? Because he says those 2 things. He literally says, that's my girl. And then he's like, I got to vote with my feelings. But that doesn't make any sense. This is a social deduction game. Feelings are not involved.
But I don't think it's feelings. I don't think it's romantic feelings.
I paused
or
it. He hugs her 3 times. Shabnam. Okay, I'm going to perform for you because we're not putting the video out for this, right? So look at this. This is what he does. So I'm Sydney. Pretend I'm Sydney. I'm standing up, everyone, if you think my voice is getting further. So she's standing up like this. He's behind her with 0 space, and he rubs her arms like this, up and down. And she's wearing a tank top. So he's rubbing her arms like this. It's a little touchy-feely.
Sure. Okay. Well, okay.
And then you end up voting against Lauren.
Yeah. So I think that he wanted Sydney to stay. I mean, who knows? She's a beautiful woman. Maybe
she's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather have $1 million, right, than one night with Sydney.
Yeah. Okay. But I think.
Sorry. I don't think that's what he's choosing between. But hey, man, guys have done worse shit.
Yeah. But she's a person that he's working with. So I think he just wants to continue to work with her in the game because these people are still trying to find their footing and find people to work with and like
also,
make sense of what's going on.
Also, he's a millionaire, so he knew neither of them was a millionaire. So you might as well remove who you don't like. I totally understand that. You're correct.
Oh yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah,
too.
I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, you're right. He just picked who he wanted to work with. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Sydney does get significantly hotter by the third episode. I don't know if she had like a glow up between episode 1 or 3. It was kind of weird.
You're totally right.
It was like a one-day glow up.
Yeah, and when they showed the promo for next week, Sam, Sydney, they all look like they're bringing the fashion at the elimination dinner. I'm like excited to see their outfits more than anything.
Yeah. No, totally. So. And I said, hey, okay, let's do a little bit more tea on Sam, right? Because we were going to say why we're talking about her in the beginning. So she is a New York cop. It says that on her Instagram bio. She has 264,000 followers.
Wait, so are we doing tea time or is that later?
No, this is Sam time.
Okay, Sam time. Let's do it.
264,000 Instagram followers, all kinds of pictures with beautiful dresses, and she wants to be a model. It literally says, I'm a hot-ass New York City cop. That's her bio.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so that's her thing. She's a hot NYC cop, and I'm about to go get arrested too.
Wow, okay.
Next time I'm in New York. But that's not tea because she actually says that legitimately. It's on her Instagram bio.
Interesting. That's pretty cool. I mean, I was wondering. I'm like, she's definitely very aesthetically motivated because she like looks beautiful and you can tell she puts in work to herself. And that's not a typical cop thing. So it makes sense that she's really into it because she obviously enjoys maybe taking care of herself and looking good, obviously, but also for potentially different career, right?
Yeah.
So,
but her bio is cop and model turned high-low fashion mom, New York hot cop, live vicariously through myself.
Wow.
So
okay.
Like goofy ass Instagram bio. Yeah. I'm about to send you your Instagram bio, by the way. Open it on your desktop. Look at the third picture and tell me, react in real time, please.
Okay. Did you text it to me?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is. And everybody can hear the iMessage. See, we're real time here.
Yeah.
Hear that little beep beep.
Samantha Sepulveda.
Look at that third picture.
Okay. Oh, damn.
Freeze.
Okay.
You're busted.
Okay. Does she? Okay.
Yeah. Keep saying. Yeah. See, even Shabnam saying okay a few times. Hey, you okay?
Does she want it?
Told
because you know what this reminds me of? There's an episode of Friends. God, what is the name of that actor who plays, twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but not the Arnold Schwarzenegger? Who's the other guy?
Danny DeVito?
Yes, Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito is in an
Where
episode
are you going with this?
So Danny DeVito's in an episode of Friends where they basically hire a stripper for Phoebe's wedding, I think.
Yeah.
Or baby shower. They hire a stripper for something.
Yeah, and Danny DeVito's the stripper.
And Danny DeVito's the stripper, and he's a cop. And I feel like she's the hot version of that.
You see this shit that we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
Freeze. You're busted. NY cop is the heat.
Yeah. And then nips and all,
This must be the New York Post or something. This can't be. Oh, it is New York Post. It literally says that. Because New York Post is very sensationalized, right?
Yeah. That's funny. Shoot, she's good for her,
That's because she's hot on the show too. And you know what? I don't find her all that offensive or anything. I don't.
Yeah.
I think she seems to have a story. She just wants to tell it.
I mean, I am offended by the whole infertility thing, and maybe I'll reserve my offense fully
we still
until the end.
We have 5 or 6 more episodes to watch, right?
Yeah.
So this is dropping in waves.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think, is there anything that we didn't touch on that we want to touch on before tea time?
I mean, we know what Phil wanted to touch on, but you don't agree with me, so.
I mean, I just think he wants a friend,
Come on, man. You don't think men are horny? And you don't think men would make a choice based on horniness? Because Lauren is Lauren and Sydney is kind of... I thought they were bullying Lauren. That's why I'm not super cool with this alliance. It turned somewhat
I feel like
bullying.
Lauren kind of deserved it.
But I saw one woman who didn't choose to be the millionaire. She didn't have to tell them that she was the millionaire, but it seems like she had to tell them. Otherwise, where would have all this drama come from?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what they would have had to
and
find something
and
else.
I feel like that was fine. All she had to do is then not be like, hey guys, since I said I was a millionaire, I think I should do this. I think she just took too much control. You know, she tried to use it too much as a power move.
And she wouldn't tell them about the songs either.
Yeah, and she wouldn't tell them about the songs. So I feel like she should have just hung back a little, you know?
Yeah. Before we get to tea time about Sam, what did Phil say no to in terms of the challenge he didn't want to do? I didn't get that.
So his challenge was that he had to, before the challenge, get people to say no to him or something, right? Let me see.
It just advances on everyone, Phil. And they'll say no all day long.
No.
I don't know. I don't know why I missed it, but
I'll find it.
I do think that's what it was. And it was kind of like, I guess this game is sort of strange where you don't actually have to play and you could potentially win. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? You could literally just sulk into the corner. Come on. Isn't Kara going to win the show, by the way? Or one of the white guys? It's going to be Ken or Chris.
Yeah, it's going to be Kyle. It's Kyle, Chris, or
Chris
Kara.
Or Kara. Those are my three guesses.
Yeah, I think so too. So are we ready for tea time?
Yeah, let's do tea time. Okay,
All
cool.
right.
So this show just came out on Wednesday, right? On March 26th. Today is Saturday, March 29th.
Okay.
Samantha, I don't think she has a lot to do.
Okay.
Because she's on Reddit. She made a new username, and her username is Sammy Sepp, SAMMYSEP. And somebody commented on the $1 Million Secret TV subreddit.
Okay.
It's really strange. And she's literally writing out why she did what she did. So Pretty Philosophy 1636 on Reddit wrote, on episode 1, that cop using her infertility and fake crying to build trust and gain pity as a woman dealing with this currently, I'm absolutely disgusted. These of the morals and behavior of someone sworn to protect people. She's a sociopath. I hope she gets the boot soon. I'll be able to enjoy the show a lot more without her on it.
Boom.
Sammy made a Reddit and commented on this comment.
All right. And
I'm about to read it.
Tell me what she says.
So, Sammy
what
says...
does she have to say for herself?
She commented 7 or 8 times on different comments, too. This is the main comment.
Okay.
She wrote, I don't usually comment on this, but let me clarify this as it
Except
was intent.
she doesn't usually comment, but she commented 7 or 8 times. Okay.
I mean, come on, dude. She's a cop. Let's be real. Dude. You don't know what she's thinking or saying. And also, you saw those pictures, right? I think she has one thing on her mind, and it's to become rich and famous and hot. She's already hot, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so she says, I don't usually comment on this, but let me clarify this as it is an intensely sensitive subject for me. That waterworks comment is in quotes, was in reference to something else. Okay. But I don't blame the editing team. It made for good TV. I have suffered 6 miscarriages since my son was born. He just turned 3, with the last one being extremely traumatic, where I almost didn't make it from bleeding out.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. So 3 weeks before the show, I had surgery for stage 2 endometriosis, and I had my appendix removed. I still haven't processed all my losses. I'm still really hurt. I did not want to cry or seem weak, but I could not help it. I was so vulnerable at that point. So those first 2 paragraphs, I agree with her. If that's what happened to her and she just had her cervix removed, I don't know.
Not cervix, appendix.
Oh, sorry, IX. Hey, I'm not a doctor, right? Dude, I'm very good with anatomy, though. Sorry. Come on. Okay, so then it goes off the rails. She wrote, imagine being a cop. Already, I'm not with you.
Yeah, lost me there.
Lost me there.
Yeah.
She wrote, imagine being a cop, working in a male-dominated environment, experiencing 2 losses at work, and continuing to work because I have to be tough. So I broke down in front of strangers, not by choice, but because I felt they wouldn't judge me. I don't owe an explanation, but I want to set the record straight. And frankly, I'm deeply sorry for what you're experiencing. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, and I pray you are able to grow your family. Feel free to email me, and I can offer some recommendations. I've tried to uncover every stone. P.S. Fertility acupuncture is amazing, and I'm not going to read the email address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, she puts her email address publicly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
maybe we should email her.
Oh, you think I didn't already slide in that email? No, I'm just kidding. I didn't. That's the tea, by the way. She responded. She's like, "Hey, what's up?" No, she has my sympathy.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely, it's a sad story. And it's definitely a very sad story. But if it's true that the producers and the show basically edited it to make her look like she was weaponizing that story.
Because of infertility and not an appendix removal, I think that's pretty fucked up. But she says, I don't blame the editing team. So honestly, I don't really believe her either.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'd be pretty fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Because she does come across as super manipulative, which I get it. We keep talking about that you have to be manipulative to win this game, but do you have to be? Maybe you don't.
I mean, there's levels too, right? That's why I'm not that mad at Lauren, because she was just a regular manipulator. It's a really crazy thing to weaponize your trauma against people and like make them feel so sad for you.
Because Sam didn't even have a role yet. She's not a millionaire. Wasn't anything. And she just like preemptively started crying, but she is saying it's because of a different reason. So C Young started crying because she felt like was attacking her, and I get that too. And that's why I said in the beginning of the episode where I don't have a lot of sympathy for C Young.
I think she just had anxiety, and so she felt like she was being attacked. But do I think objectively that she was being attacked? No. I think he was just literally having a conversation.
The same comments that I'm reading on Reddit, everybody is saying Phil attacked her, by the way. They're saying it wasn't part of the game, it wasn't strategy, it was just plain mean.
How was that strategy? I think it was completely strategy to be like, how come you're inconsistent? Like you're being inconsistent. The whole thing is to find out who's acting weird, who's trying to do these agendas, who has like the secret millionaire agenda. He was playing the game. I'm on his side. I'm Team Phil here.
Okay, cool. Where you go? Shabnam is Team Phil, Team Sydney, anti-Lauren. I'm just kidding. One time I called somebody Lauren, and she's like, who the fuck is Lauren? My name is Serena. I just want to put that out there because this happened to me 4 days ago.
Oh, you know what I was going to say that I totally forgot earlier? Yeah. In my mind, I'm really bad at names, which is crazy because I have a hard name. And so people tell me their name. I don't recall it all. It like goes in one ear, out the other. And they have to do something that's interesting to me for me to remember their name. So I have a friend who I became friends with, and then they became interesting to me. And so I didn't know their name for several weeks during our friendship. And then I had to watch them write their name to figure it out because they knew my name and we were already friends. And I was like, I can't ask this person their name because that's really weird. So yeah.
You know what? That's a great closing. And that's exactly what we said in the beginning. We need to have interest level in people to be able to talk about them in a real way. So I don't remember names either. I was the worst sales guy in tech ever, but hey, I don't work in tech sales anymore, so I might have done okay. So thank you everyone for listening to Chai After Dark. I liked it, Shabnam, because I know we're talking about a lot of different emotions and personality traits, but it was really cool to see 12 people with 12 different styles.
Yeah.
It was. So it is interesting. I do enjoy human psychology and why people tick and why people do what they do, including myself, right? So everybody, please let us know what you thought about the first 3 episodes. You can email us at chaiafterdark@chaiafterdark.com or follow us on Instagram, Chai After Dark. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Facebook, Blue Sky.
Yeah.
And please like, share, subscribe, and rate us 5 stars, right, Shabnam?
Yeah, 5 stars only, okay? We deserve it. And just also write us a note on Apple about what you like. Only what you like, not what you don't like. We don't need to know that. We'll figure it out from what you didn't say. We're going to say it again. We know we're good. Maybe we're not great, but we're striving. But you don't need to tell us that because we already know it. So just 5 stars, okay? Yeah. All right, I'm going to put the jingle on this, and we're going to get out of here. See you for White Lotus on Tuesday, episode 7. And see you next week for some more $1 Million Secret on Netflix. Shabnam, let's get the hell out of here. You manipulative ass. Sorry, I can't even say it after everything. Oh, that's what you get. That's what you get, you manipulative ass dude. What's up, Samantha? Respond to my email. Bye. Bye.